Black holes are the strongest test of what the theory of gravity really is. Uh, Space is just bent and warped and twisted in some incredibly complex way. And if one could only understand that, one would have a fundamental insight into the theory of gravity.
In the past 5 years, our knowledge of black holes has really exploded. By using space-based and ground-based telescopes covering the full electromagnetic spectrum, astronomers have found that black holes are everywhere. They come in a variety of sizes, and they are integral to the formation of galaxies. One way to find a black hole is to look for X-rays that are produced by matter caught up in its violent and extreme environment. In fact, we are extremely close to looking at the very edge of a black hole, something Einstein never imagined.
What happens to matter and energy as it moves closer to a black hole and crosses the event horizon, the theoretical border from which nothing can escape? Does time really come to a standstill? Will we see a breakdown in general relativity in the environment of extreme gravity? General relativity makes specific predictions about matter and energy close to a black hole. If, upon close scrutiny, we see the slightest deviation between theory and observation, we will understand limitations in Einstein's equations. 2 space missions will take us closer to a black hole event horizon than we've ever been. LISA, a joint NASA-European mission now in formulation, will listen for gravitational waves created by merging black holes.
Now we're talking about opening a window that's not even based on electromagnetism. It's a window that's based on gravitational radiation.
The gravity wave spectrum is kind of a new and really unexplored frontier. No one's directly detected gravity waves. As we start to open up this next frontier, which I think many of us think of as the great frontier for 21st century astronomy, I think we're going to learn about different things from different parts of that spectrum.
Another mission will give us a closer look at black holes and probe the mystery of dark energy. Constellation X, an X-ray observatory, will make movies of the material falling into a black hole to map the warping of space-time.
Constellation X will let us watch how that matter approaches the event horizon and how, from our perspective, time creeps to a halt. We'll be able to watch the final X-ray flicker of light as matter plunges into the black hole and disappears forever. This is where we'll be able to probe the most extreme conditions of gravity that we know of and really put Einstein's theories to the test.
Einstein hoped to fold the quantum force of electromagnetism into general relativity and to find a unified theory. Much of what he could not answer and struggled with until the day he died remains unanswered today. These questions about dark energy, black holes, the Big Bang, and the nature of gravity have come to define the cutting edge.
Hey everyone, this is Scott Roberts from Explore Scientific and the Explore Alliance. I hope you all had a great holiday season. I can read here in chat that you guys it seems like a refreshing and happy weekend. I see that we had Richard Gray sign on first here. Tarek from the UAE is with us. He's happy that he's got his telescope rig going finally, which is great. Christopher Hughes has signed on saying hello. Harold Locke says, hello, star people, happy Monday. It is that. Chris Larson says hello, a big howdy to you. And who else do we have here today? Eduardo Simone. And for all of you that are in the background watching, you know, it was an exciting weekend, certainly with the launch of the James Webb Space Telescope, the successful launch. That was just such a sigh of relief for me, you know, that it's now up there and part of it's already been unfurled it's everything is nominal at this point. So, I couldn't be more pleased than that. At this time, of course, there's many more steps that it has to go through before we get it up to speed and we start collecting data. But I expect that that it's going to be a great and astounding event after event as we get closer and closer to capturing distant starlight. So that's very cool. At the end of my updates here, I do have like a 12-minute long highlight reel of the launch, which if you missed it, this is pretty nice video, because it shows the excitement of the team and all the rest of it, which is really cool. Tomorrow we have the 78th Global Star Party, and the theme of that is the amazing life of stars. And if you think about stars and what's going on inside of them, how they are, where fusion is happening at its core, it's creating elements. The stars created all the elements that are in our bodies, all the elements that are on our planet, all the elements that are in our solar system, and so on and so on. Okay, so we are, and these are not like somehow separate, elements. I mean, they do interact with each other. And they constantly interact with each other. And that means that we're constantly having some interaction, albeit at a very tiny scale, with the entire universe. So, it is, the more that you learn about quantum physics, whether you're really into the mathematical physics or not, I think that you can glean something and get a feeling for your relationship with the whole universe. We had unseasonably warm weather over the last weekend. I know that Tyler Bowman was out testing the refractor that's behind me here, and we're preparing it for the Marcelo Souza's team of students down in Brazil, so that they can operate it remotely and get some images down with that system. If you have groups of people that would like to apply for that, we're of course not charging for it. So, certainly let me know, and you could just send an email to explorealliance@explorescientific.com. We do have an astrophotography contest that you can find out by going to explorescientific.com and look under Explore Alliance, and you'll find the contest listed there. It's a lot of fun to put up your images in Skies Up magazine. And we talked about it a little bit before last week about Skies Up, and I know that Kent went through one of the articles, but you can, here, I'll put the link in chat here. That's right, Eduardo, we are made from stardust. And Stardust is still active, Stardust. So let's see, www.explorescientific.com/Skies Up. Okay, so there you guys go, and you can download the most recent copy or previous copies, but it is very high quality articles in there written by astronomers from around the world, and it's absolutely free. So you're welcome to share it, or to look at any back issue. That's just part of the outreach stuff that we do. Andrew says, Meteor Astrophotography contest, not an easy one for me. Bright city lights. Andrew, you just got to capture a bolide that's, brighter than the city lights around you, so I saw one time, I'll tell you a story, Andrew. I was coming back back home from Taiwan when I was working at Mead Instruments, and I was coming from LAX airport. Now, anyone that's driven from Los Angeles International down the coast on Interstate 5 knows how lit up that freeway is. I mean, it's lit up like crazy. And I'm driving along, and for some reason, I always kind of keep my eyes a little bit on the sky. I've told this story before, but I'm driving along, and all of a sudden I see the cars light up a little bit more, and I see a shadow of my car, from a light source behind me. Okay, I'm driving, 60, 70 miles an hour down the freeway, and I look up, and a bolide goes right down I-5. I mean, it's just bright as day, brighter than the full moon. It was just awesome. So, and I've seen bright meteors from time to time. So you'll want to try to get out as often as you can, and at least to try to see them. Photographing them is a challenge, though. You're right, and so, but I think that you might still find. I think you might still find that you can photograph meteors from city lights. So it's certainly worth a try. Anyhow, so we have all of our regular programming this week. We've got tomorrow we'll have the Open Go-To community with Jerry Hubble. He continues, and the team from the Open Go-To community continue to progress on developing improved firmware and software for the PMC8 system. On Wednesday, we've got First Light Chronicles with Kent Martz, and we'll try to get Annie on at the same time to give us an update on the Explore Alliance. On Thursday, we have On the Wing yet again with Kent Martz, and then Friday, being that we've got the holiday coming up, Explore Scientific will be closed. There'll be no program on that day. But we're going to celebrate the New Year's, as we hope that you do too. So anyhow, let's see if we have any comments here that I should be reading. Andrew says, I've got some Explore Scientific filters he can use. Maybe that'll help. Lubo, it's got www.explorescientific. Thank you very much. And he said he saw one from his car too, so you can really see some amazing stuff sometimes when you're driving. I've seen really 3 or 4 remarkable bolides from driving in a car. So I'll share those stories some other time. Jason Martin says, I actually saw the meteorite that struck a vehicle in New York. Wow. I was in military AIT at the time, and it happened to be standing at a bus stop waiting for a bus. It was the most beautiful one I've ever seen. I would love to see an actual meteorite strike something. That would be incredible. And you said it had a beautiful greenish, distinct greenish cast to it. Yes, seen those too. Look, Davies, hello. And Harold Locke says, awesome explorer, Jason. You guys, it's great to keep our eyes on the sky at all times. We just never know what we're going to see. Tarek says, Scott, if you change that yellow color on your Dob models, then I'll buy one. I don't like yellow color. It only takes a spray can to paint the yellow color a different color. So that's just the way it is, Tarek. I started off the company with yellow being one of our company colors. So that was it. And Andrew says, I prefer to look at the sky while driving. Andrew, one time also while driving down 405, I think I saved my life by kind of looking up, because I was driving over this overpass, and somebody threw a golf ball off the overpass, and the golf ball bounced, it's bouncing down the freeway. And I just happened to look up, and the golf ball looked like it was going to hit my windshield, and I was able to veer out of the way just in time, and I don't know if I veered out of the way so somebody else would get hit or not. I don't know what happened, but you know, it pays to keep kind of a wide view. And I think astronomy, you know, and averted vision kind of teach you that. So, but anyways, I hope you all had a great holiday season. It's not over with yet. Of course, we've got New Year's coming up, and and more things happening. I also want to mention that Sir Arthur Eddington's birthday is Tuesday, which is the same day as the 78th Global Star Party. Sir Arthur Eddington became world famous when he was one of the first to receive letters from a German scientist, or a German physicist, Albert Einstein, who was trying to express his ideas about relativity. And Eddington was one of the first people in the world to actually understand what he was talking about or could interpret it. And so he presents that to the Royal Astronomical Society. And then he's tasked with proving, you know, the aspect of the fact that light can bend around a star. And so he does that for I think it was a 1919 eclipse of the sun. And he wanted to see if stars would shift their position. So he goes to an island, I think it's called Principe, is the name of the way you pronounce it. And he also went down, there was another team that went to Brazil at the same time. They had nearly identical telescopes, from what I understand, and photographed the eclipse. It turns out that there was a flaw in the telescope that was up in Brazil, but that Eddington's team down off the island was able to see the shift of a star, and it shifted by pretty much by the predicted amount. So this was a huge thing at the time, but there was a lot of controversy because of the other image, which predicted more of a Newtonian model that the star wouldn't shift. So it turned out, I guess, that the film plate or the plate holder itself was defective to a degree, or had some shift in it itself. So, but Eduardo says, didn't they have multiple groups trying to prove the theory? This was the first real science team to try to do this. Since that happened, though, there was so much controversy that it got, you know, there was another experiment in the 1950s, which again kind of added weight to Eddington's results. And then in 1978, and then again in 1980, there were teams of people that were either trying to prove or disprove that Eddington got any results at all. I think it's largely considered that Eddington actually did, but you know, there was still this long fight, this long debate, and people still try to poke holes in Einstein's theories today. So, which science should, you know, this is the process of science. So, but anyhow, just wanted to point out that a great astronomer, Sir Arthur Eddington, his birthday is tomorrow, and I think he would be 139 years old or something like that. So, and so there's always something going on in astronomy. Hopefully you guys have gotten some images of Comet Leonard. I saw tons of wonderful images on Facebook. You know, I love it if you share it with me on my personal Facebook page. I just love seeing them. And if you're coming on to Global Star Party, you know, and would like to share some images or anything, certainly happy to have you join. Just let us, you know, get in touch with us at Explore Alliance at explorescientific.com. Well, okay, so I'm going to run this little Jay West launch highlight reel for you. You guys have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
We will have a very different exo-atmospheric flight after that.
And you were watching a number of people, VIPs and invited guests, moving out to the observation platform that is right next to the Jupiter Control Center. as we stand by for the 1-minute call from Jean-Luc Voyer.
À tous les vidéos, attention pour moins 1 minute. Top, à 0 moins 1 minute.
Thumbs up from Jean-Luc Voyer. All systems are go. We're inside a minute now, T-minus 50 seconds and counting. As you heard earlier, the Vulcan 2 engine will ignite. Turbo pumps will come up to flight speed for 7 seconds, and the command will be issued to ignite the solid rocket boosters. The James Webb Space Telescope will be on its way. T-minus 30 seconds and counting. Standing by for terminal count.
À tous de DDO, attention pour les décomptes finales. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, unité, top.
And we have engine start. And liftoff.
Allumage EAP, décollage.
Décollage, liftoff from a tropical rainforest to the edge of time itself. James Webb begins a voyage back to the birth of the universe. Punching a hole through the clouds, 20 seconds into the flight. Good pitch program reported.
Trajectoire est nominale.
Vehicle performance is nominal. The Ariane 5 rocket continues to fly uphill in nominal fashion. The rumble of the powerful Ariane 5 now being felt here in the control center. 3D animation.
We can hear the noise and feel the vibrations here. You're right, Rob. Yeah, impressive.
13 kilometers in altitude, 7 kilometers downrange, traveling about 0.6 kilometers per second.
Les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
The trajectory reported to be nominal by Jean-Luc Voyer, the range operations manager. You can see at the bottom of your screen, the yellow line is the trajectory plot, perfectly overlaid over the green line, which was the pre-launch trajectory. 1 minute, 41 seconds into the flight, about 40 seconds away from shutdown of the solid rocket boosters. Coming up on the 2-minute mark into the flight. And let's go down to the floor in the Jupiter Control Center to Raphael Chevrier of Arianespace. Raphael, so far so good.
Hi, Rob. So far, so good. Everything is nominal, as we say, when attitude and trajectory of the Ariane 5 is going perfectly well. As you can see also on the yellow line on the screen, we had the confirmation of the separation of the two solid boosters and now of the fairing, meaning that we have crossed the limits of the atmosphere. So everything is going
Tous les paramètres à
super
bord sont
good.
normaux.
And the DDO just said that all parameters are going perfectly smoothly. So let's continue the mission.
And Raphael, this is a view from the upper stage camera called the Vicky Cam, looking back at the James Webb Space Telescope. This is on about a 20-second delay or so because the way the imagery is processed here in the control room. There's your telescope ready to unfurl its wings basically and begin its journey to the Lagrange point, the L2 point, about 1 million miles away from Earth.
La trajectoire est normale.
Nominal trajectory continues to be the watchword for the day from the Range Operations Manager, Jean-Luc Voyer, as we stand by for main engine shutdown and separation.
Extinction de l'EPC. Séparation EPC.
And we have main stage shutdown and separation confirmed here in the Mission Control Center and the ignition of that upper
Allumage
stage.
ESC.
And Raphael Chevrier down in the fishbowl. So far, so good.
Yes, Rob, we have the confirmation of the separation of the main stage and the ignition of the
trajectoire
upper
est nominale.
stage. The trajectory is perfectly nominal. This is very important moment for us because it's always a challenge to switch on a cryogenic engine in space condition. And we are now at 220 kilometers of altitude. Speed is a bit more than 7 kilometers per second as we enter now the second stage of the second phase of the flight.
And we're about 17 seconds away from Webb separation.
Séparation Webb Space Telescope. Go Webb!
We do have confirmation of observatory separation. The James Webb Space Telescope, amidst applause here in the Mission Control Center, now taking its first steps in pursuit of cosmological discovery. It was a perfect ride to orbit. And all of the separation sequence events are running in good fashion according to the telescope controllers. And there is the view from the upper stage camera on the Ariane 5 looking at the James Webb Space Telescope as it moves gently away from its launch vehicle.
Fantastic pictures of this telescope.
Go Webb, go Webb.
Yes, go Webb.
Ironically enough, as we marvel on this view from the upper stage camera, this will be humanity's last view of the James Webb Space Telescope as it moves to its workplace about 1 million miles away from Earth.
Yes, you're right, Rob. Impressive, fantastic pictures. Yeah.
Now we'll be hearing shortly from the Mission Operations Manager at the Space Telescope Science Institute, Carl Starr, who will be calling out the procedures that will lead to the deployment of Webb's solar array. And down in the fishbowl where there is jubilation, let's go to Raphael Chevrier of Arianespace. And before we do that, Raphael, a bit earlier than planned, but there is the solar array having been deployed. James Webb now has its array out as we stand by for confirmation that it is power positive.
Hey, Rob. J'entends pas ce qu'il me dit. Il m'a appelé ou pas? Il m'a appelé ou pas, Romain? Non, il t'a pas appelé.
And there it is. There's your critical call. James Webb not only has legs, but it has power as it begins its journey and the commissioning activities to follow. And with that, let's go down to the floor in the fishbowl and Raphael Chevrier of Arianespace. Tremendous jubilation here in the control center. You're looking at Jean-Luc Voyer, the range operations manager. Quite a Christmas present for the world's astronomers as the James Webb Space Telescope begins its life heading towards deep space. With that, we're going to go back to the floor now to Katie Haswell. Katie, we did our thing. It's up to you now.
Oh my goodness, I just can't tell you. It's such utter jubilation here on the floor in the Jupiter Control Center. Everybody's been whooping with joy. The controllers here and the mission controllers jumping up, clapping, whooping with joy, people hugging. And I have to say, my throat was caught as I saw that the glimpse of sunshine on Webb solar panels as we watched it heading out into space on its journey to its working zone. It's going to take about 6 months before we start getting our deep space observations from Webb. Of course, the teams have got a huge amount to do before we get to that, and our best wishes with all those teams in Baltimore. I want to get some reaction. Right now, everybody is talking and hugging each other because they're feeling so excited, and I totally understand that.
COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective at protecting you from COVID-19, especially severe illness and death. Vaccinated people are far less likely to be hospitalized or die because of COVID-19, including the Delta variant. COVID-19 has a much harder time spreading in a vaccinated population. When more people are vaccinated, we are all better protected against COVID-19. Even if you're young and healthy, it's still important to get vaccinated. Vaccines can help end this pandemic. To get the most protection, make sure you get all recommended doses of a COVID-19 vaccine. Getting vaccinated helps protect you and others from COVID-19.